Welcome back to the Washed Athlete Podcast. This is episode 20. I am finally back from doing pretty much everything. I'm back on the main pod. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We got some interesting topics I'm sure you guys are going to love to hear about. So what's everybody been up to?
Just earlier today, I was with my grandfather. He lived in Pittsburgh, so I was spending some time with him. I took him to get a haircut, and then we were just catching up for a little bit afterwards. So that consumed the majority of my day, to be honest. It was good seeing.
That's such a weird experience that you have like grandparents like in a grandfather in Pittsburgh with you, because like I have grandparents in Florida and back home in Jersey, so it's like I go away to college and I'm like significantly farther from my grandparents.
I know.
And you're just like significantly closer.
Well, one of the things like that my mom was saying was that like when I would be going to school in Pittsburgh is that like they're like, you know, her side of the family is from Pittsburgh, so it's not like I'm going to be going to a place where they're not going to know people. And like, you know, my grandfather still lives here, so it's like obviously like, you know, he knows people and then they also know him. So, you know, they're going to have an incentive to come up here, not only to see me, but also to see him, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. What about... I haven't done really anything exciting this week. Work's been busy, but we did get to watch all of season 1 of Cobra Kai on Friday night. I think it was Friday night. We watched me, Andres, Jacob, and Raj. We all sat down and we watched the entirety of season 1 of Cobra Kai in one night. And you might be like, cool, you started at like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. No. We waited until after the basketball game was over. So like, I don't know. We might have started, I think we watched an episode during halftime. And then, so that means we had like 11 or 9 episodes like remaining, and we just started watching like at 12. I got home at like 4 a.m. Yeah. It was so ridiculous.
What is wrong with you?
I barely made it through. They had to. Jacob especially tried forcing me through. I was falling asleep. I had already seen it, but like I pushed.
All of us had.
Peter, battled through adversity. I battled through adversity.
Can you agree that Andres, if he's falling, it's like if at Sushi Bomb, if he falls asleep or if he's not able to finish the task at hand, he's a punk, for lack of better words.
Yes.
Well, you didn't finish the task at hand.
However, for Sushi Bomb, I have always finished. So I'm
using that as an example, but we're talking specifically.
I know, but I just want to make it clear to the viewers. I need to make it clear. Me, Peter, just undefeated.
Yes. Okay. So for context, what we are talking about, I'm sure we talked about Sushi Bomb on the podcast, but we have kind of turned it into a game where we go to an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant. But it also has like a lot of other items on the menu of just like other like Asian fusion kind of foods. And it's all really good. But the issue is that when people decide to kind of make it a game, which obviously we all do, we're all very competitive. So it's like, okay, how much are we going to eat? And if you don't eat everything on the plate, you get a surcharge. So if you get that surcharge, you are a bum. You're an absolute bum. So everyone
It's the worst thing they put in their menu, because it just encourages like. And of course, we're gonna take it like just for like sophomore, juniors in college. We're just like, you know what, guys, like you can't finish your food, which is just it's so unhealthy.
If I am spending $23.19 total, that is including tax, I am gonna get my money's worth for this. And I was putting up some legendary performances recently at Sushi Bomb.
It was legendary. If people did see our story, you know what we're talking about. What was it? 4 rolls.
It was like 4
hibachi
rolls.
Chicken, ice cream, and then you also cleaned up like and you had the shrimp dumplings, and you cleaned up Jacob and Raj's food.
Yeah, it was.
We did that, and I almost have a casualty. Raj went to the bathroom quite briskly.
I really thought he was going to puke.
I thought it was raps.
Because he took a sip of water and was dead silent the entire time. Yep. Like that is, and then just stood up without saying a word and left. It's like that is the I'm fighting for my life to try and not puke in the middle of this restaurant type of walk. It was bad, but he did it. He was close. He did not though.
Yeah, I walked into the bathroom and like looked under the stall. I was like trying to see the feet. Like, I was like, all right, the knees on the ground. Like,
are we going on all fours in the middle of the Sushi Bomb bathroom?
Yeah, I was like, what's the situation in here? Because
he's just fighting for his life,
coughing up demons.
But good thing he didn't, because although we would have made so much fun of him if we're just being honest, he would have gotten destroyed by
first the knife. Now if he puked in the Sushi Bomb bathroom, we would be clowning.
It would have been the title of the last episode.
Oh,
would have been Raj puked at Sushi Bomb.
Easily,
for sure.
And
Easily would've been.
Raj has already had 2 titles dedicated to him.
Yes, that is very true.
So
No, I mean,
God.
I was gonna say if you're at all you can eat sushi and you're not having 3 rolls minimum plus an app, like you're doing it wrong. And also, like, we established a new tradition after every trip or match, as I would like to say. Ice cream is a lock to finish out the day.
You have to get
ice cream is a
some
lock.
sort of ice
All
cream.
3 of us had some
afterwards.
victory ice cream. We had some
Yes.
victory ice cream.
it's not. But we were talking about it that day because now Jacob's just like gone. But out of all 3 of us here, we all finished. Like, I don't think the ice cream's hard to put down because like
Not
the
at all.
taste is so much sweeter than like the salty and like
Savory.
salty like and savory sushi that it like doesn't bother me. Like I was struggling to finish like my last like fried rice and sushi, and then I went over and got ice cream, and I was like,
This is easy.
I was like, this doesn't even feel hard. Like I didn't even have to force the ice cream down. My
Yeah,
lactose intolerance didn't appreciate it, but
lactose intolerant, but you
Respect.
just tolerate it.
I respect it. No, I mean, like after the sushi, like my body yearned for something sweet. So I was like, I need to let ice cream. Like I was like, because I was telling you guys, like I want a milkshake right now. But then I saw that ice cream, so I was like, all right, that's good enough. So I needed something sweet to. After
I would have
we killed all
pounded
that savory
Milkshake
stuff.
Factory.
Oh, yeah,
the gourmet
absolutely.
milkshakes, so
sure.
good.
They charge you an extra for dairy free though, not appreciated. They need to get better at that.
That's tough. That's really tough, my friend.
It was tough. Because like our for my job, we had gotten a gift card to go, and they had charged like the exact amount for like a milkshake on there. But of course, they didn't charge the exact amount for like a
For a
dairy-free
dairy-free.
milkshake. So I
Oh
went
my
up. We went
God.
there the other day with a friend, Mark, longtime listener of the pod, and I went up to use it, and it was like, all right, you'll have to pay like $139. I was like, screw you, like this like
Damn you!
It's like the same thing when I go to Dunkin' or Starbucks, and it's like, all right, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to pay an extra 75 cents for that almond milk, and it's like, screw you, man. Like that's like
Man.
I think that's a quarter of my coffee.
Oh my god, that is.
One struggle, and they're making you like struggle even more.
No, it's like
Because of
it's honestly like a societal problem at this point. It's like we are charging people to get milk that is either A, healthier, or B, used because you can't process regular milk, and it's like we're gonna slap a fee on there. And honestly, like, I don't think almond milk is like that much more expensive like to produce than
It is
regular. It is.
Yeah, because like the whole it takes a lot more like water to produce. So like and a lot of like the almonds are coming from California, which has a water shortage. So it actually is much more expensive.
Wait. California is not in a drought.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's
always-
in a drought.
it's
It's on
always-
fire and it's flooding all at the
Drought,
same
drought,
time.
drought.
Drought, fire, super
And floods.
expensive. Oh,
No,
and
I
floods.
visited 3 years ago, and like it was so surreal seeing like actual signs saying like drought warning, like
Yeah.
it's crazy, like it's a like a recurring thing. It's nuts.
which is weird because like I've never thought about it. Like New Jersey's never been in a drought. Like
No.
I
We've had
can't ever
hurricanes.
recall. We have had hurricanes, yeah. Jacob can attest to hurricanes down in New Orleans, but
Louisiana.
no, we've dealt with our fair share of hurricanes, but never a drought, which is nice. I don't even know what like a drought would like feel like. Would I walk outside and just be like, it's really dry in here? Like I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
just like that. You're like limited on your like how much water you're allowed to use and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I know out in I have some family out in Cali, and there was like at some point they like couldn't fill up. They weren't allowed to fill up their outdoor pool because like there was just a water shortage, and they just like had just a pool sitting there just empty for like months. And they were like, then eventually they were allowed to fill it up, and then they went back into another drought. So then they couldn't change the water in the pool. So it's like, oh well, I guess it's sitting there.
Oh my gosh.
That's so weird. Like I just
Yeah.
can't even imagine like being told that. Okay, there are things that like moving to states that I take into account. Like earthquakes in California scare the hell out of me. Like I don't like.
They
I
are
would-
due for a big one. That's the thing. The,
been a
the San
while.
Andreas fault has not gone off, and it's like 100 years like overdue. Like it's
Damn.
gonna go.
Because I'm just like I hear that people like they'll tweet like a lot of like influencers from California like, oh, anyone feel that earthquake, and it'll come out that it's like a 4.5 or 5.5 or whatever and did some damage, and I'm like, I would be terrified of it. I was just working in a hospital as a doctor one day and everything just started shaking. Like
And
I
it
don't
just
want that.
collapsed.
No, it's so scary.
But the
So
worst of
scary.
it all is tornadoes. Like, oh my god, like people's houses just get ripped apart by tornadoes in like Kansas, Oklahoma, and like some of those Midwest countryside states. It's like I'd be terrified of it. Like when you hear about a tornado warning in Jersey, especially where I'm from, where we have a ton of
It's a
trees and
joke.
stuff, I'm like, we're not getting hit by a tornado. Like,
It's just a lot of wind. Like,
yeah.
we're
Now
fine.
there was a tornado like kind of recently in Jersey that like did cause like some actual like serious damage, and I was like, oof,
Oh
like,
wait,
maybe-
I do remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I was like, oof, maybe I shouldn't stop making joke about Jersey tornadoes, but like ultimately it's not that big of a deal. But no, the ones that happened in like Oklahoma just like rip through buildings.
Yeah,
and I'm
Tornado
like,
Alley is no joke. It's
Mhm.
crazy out there.
I couldn't imagine living during the Dust Bowl either. Like they just have like this dust run through these towns.
Okay,
and watch-
wait, time out. Have you guys seen that one picture of the dude holding like the cricket or like grasshopper from the Dust Bowl? Have you seen this?
I don't think I have.
I have been told that this image is real. And there is no, look it up. It is the size of a dog.
Dude holding grasshopper
Look at it.
Dust Bowl.
It is absurd.
Oh my god!
Like I have been told this is a real image, and I saw that in
For
school.
people on the pod,
that is the
yeah,
size of a
you can
dog.
see that. For people
That
on
is a
YouTube,
That is a small dog. That dude killed a grasshopper with a rifle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that it was during the Dust Bowl.
that's crazy.
That's
Imagine that thing is in
It's a-
the
Oh
air.
my god.
It can fly.
The 1930s.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm confused how you remember like that. What like how this is like a
How
core
do I? It's a
memory for
core
you.
memory
Well, I
because
mean,
I remember
no,
it's
that's
like
a
we're
memory,
learning about the
that's a memory.
Dust Bowl, and then my teacher just pulls that picture up, and they're like, "Yeah, this is what they were dealing with out there." I'm like, "Since when do
Jeez,
we
bro.
have like dog-sized grasshoppers flying around in the Midwest? Like, what is going on?
I would be out of there.
Like, what?"
Jeez.
And, but the thing is, it was like back then. It's like, what are you gonna do? There's nothing for miles, and there's no
Yeah.
water, so it's like you just have to fight these things.
Mhm.
Like what?
Just like at the box, like the kangaroo, like the boxing kangaroo, like start.
Yeah, you literally gotta throw hands with a grasshopper. Just like defend your like any wood that is on your house because they just eat through everything.
So that's
It's nuts. I would be beside myself.
Like, it was.
I'm not even
crazy.
like I'm not even that like bad about bugs and stuff. I'm not at all like.
But that's
I was
absurd.
Really, but
That
that's
is
no.
insane.
I'd be literally terrified for my life. That's how I feel about snakes. Like I don't know what snakes are poisonous or what aren't, so I just don't rock with snakes like that. But
Mhm.
like that grasshopper, I'm like that thing could kill me.
Or not. Not even that it would kill you, but it's like, what? There is no godly reason for a grasshopper to be that big. They are like this
They
big.
need to do
normally.
genetic testing on that thing.
I mean, that thing is long
Yeah.
dead.
Like,
but that is the
Spider-Man,
terrifying
more
part-
like Grasshopper Man.
Like actually, it's grasshoppers are normally like that big,
Mhm.
and that thing is like the size of his leg.
I
Oh
love
my
how he's holding
God.
it like a fish too. Like he
He's
just like
literally
went
he's
out.
just holding
He's
it
like-
up.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, look what I shot. It's like,
scary.
what?
I can imagine the whole town knowing this grasshopper's out and about, and like all the dads are like, "All right, like
Yeah, all right.
get the rifle over the
Going on a
like,
hunt, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to
so, like,
find
honey,
it.
I'll be back. The neighborhood
Yeah.
watch is going to go get this
Yeah.
grasshopper."
It's like, oh, Daryl, did you hear that the grasshopper ate through somebody's entire house yesterday? Ah, you know what? We're getting the neighborhood watch together. We're going to go
Yeah.
kill that thing.
Yeah, you know how in WandaVision they have like the neighborhood watch set up. Like I can just imagine that
Exactly.
being like one of the points in the meeting. Like, all right, guys,
All
we
right,
need to
guys.
take care of this grasshopper issue that's around.
We need to raise a
Daryl, get your
militia.
rifle.
Yeah, we need to raise a militia right now to go find this 5-foot-long grasshopper.
Let's take it down. So
Let's take it down.
Need for that. Like we have an ecosystem, a food chain where grasshoppers are where they are. So what is the point of that? Like, oh my god, that's just scary.
I wonder what would have happened if like a micro environment had been created where like they could like repopulate, and then just like there was just a thing in the 1950s where there was just a ton of these grasshoppers, and like we needed to eliminate them because like there's a thing with like the what's the bee? There's like a really dangerous bee that's from like one of the Asian countries. I don't
Oh,
remember.
it's like the Japanese
It's the hornet.
I think.
Yeah,
Chinese
so-
hornet?
Yeah.
Is it-
There's
I
some,
think
some kind
It's
of
one of the East Asian.
yeah, one of the like one
Yeah.
of, they have like some kind of hornet.
It's the
and,
murder
like,
hornet, yeah.
Yeah, and they're trying to like come over
It's
like
the
they've
Asian
been trying
giant
to
hornet.
Asian giant hornet.
yeah.
And they're trying to like eradicate it because it doesn't belong here. And I'm like, imagine if there was just a big like grasshopper collection, and then like the pretty much like the United States government had to crack down and be like, we need to stop this right now because they might take over.
It's like how Australia went to war with the emus and lost twice.
Oh
I was
man,
just gonna talk about Australia actually. Seeing all the like the videos of spiders,
There's-
the different kinds of spiders that live there. Like, shout out to you Australians. That is terrifying. I mean,
Dude,
spiders
they
are
live...
good technically
Yeah.
because like they get rid of like mosquitoes and whatnot, but like they are
Bro,
terrifying.
those things get rid of birds. Like they hunt
They're
birds.
scary.
Like
Mhm.
Australia, like we joke about like Ohio being like an actual like Elden Ring sort of like video game. That is like a real life video game. They will like go out. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a 3-foot long like huntsman spider. It's just like sitting on my wall. It's like there's no reason for it to be that big. Or like how
Yeah.
like 90% of like all of the poisonous snakes in the world live in Australia. It's like, what?
No, there's a like
Scary.
I have a friend that's from Australia or is like has residency in Australia, and I was like talking to her, and like there's like this perception of Australia, like when you vacation there on the coastline, that's
Mhm.
super nice, but like when you get into the heart of
The
like,
outback.
Australia, it's like the outback, and it's just like barren and just like animals or just like very rural like towns and whatnot. It's not like the coast. I think that's like kind of an issue like in America where we just like we see other countries and we're like we take the best aspects of them or what we
Yeah.
would travel to and we're like it must be super nice to live there. Like everyone jokes
Meanwhile.
about in college. I'm gonna go live abroad in my life, and it's like yeah, cool. Like if you live in the city, that's nice, but like the middle of same thing with the United States. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, I'm sure people overseas are like, oh yeah, love like
It's
Florida
New York,
and California.
Cali, like
Yeah, like love
It's
to
all
live in those
coast.
areas, and it's like, how would you like to be dropped in the middle of Kansas? Like,
it's like that's like actually what the United States is
Yeah,
because like
that's
the
more like
coast is such a fraction of the actual landmass of the U.S. It's like
Yeah.
there's so much going on in the middle.
so much, there's so much land, and there's not as many people,
Yeah,
Which-
Like 70% desert. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
which is why it's so
Wild.
fun to look.
Minimum.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally at a minimum, and that's why it's so cool to like look at the electoral map because you just see like where like the middle is just all red, so many counties, and then just the edges
or just blue.
are blue.
Yeah,
And you're like, yeah, but all the people live there, so it kind of evens out in a sense.
exactly.
It's just wild. Like I don't know. I always discount how big like the United States is sometimes.
Isn't it the third largest country in the world by landmass?
Okay, Russia's got to be bigger.
Russia's one. I think is Canada two, and then I think the United States I think is three.
Oh,
Definitely up there. I know that. Canada's huge.
is Australia not bigger?
No.
Canada's 2 actually. I just looked.
Yeah,
up.
Canada's
Russia's
2.
1, Canada 2, China 3, US 4, Brazil.
Okay, yeah.
All right, they do a disservice to China on the world map then, because they don't
Because
make it look
looks
as
way
big.
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah,
And it's
That's
shown
a
at 3.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Africa. Like it is so like as a continent is so much bigger than Europe,
Mhm.
even though Europe looks bigger. It's like because that's like actually I saw like a TikTok about that or something. It was like
must
how
be true.
It must be true, right? You trust everything on the internet, but it's like how like you can't really like actually stretch it to like fit on a flat plane because it's a circle. Like
Yeah.
you can't actually work with it. But you know, well the Earth
No.
is flat, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, exactly. It doesn't really matter
It's
because
fine.
if you get the
Spot on.
boat, it'll just
Spot
go
on.
right over the edge.
It'll just
And
because
it'll
we'll,
just fall into
Exactly.
space.
well, no, because we'll hit the ice wall on the outside, but the government doesn't want us to go there because that's
Yeah, exactly.
where Cthulhu is. Yeah, so
It's kind of like the Hunger Games, where like when you get to the edge, it kind of just like
Yeah.
bounces you back
it's
over.
just a border. Yeah,
and you don't even
Exactly.
know, or they use some kind of like Harry Potter magic, where like
it's
you
just a
don't really-
wormhole. Yep,
You do, yeah. You just
go
keep turning.
through.
Oh, okay. Hogwarts is in the books. They don't really talk about it in the movies. Hogwarts is protected by a barrier. Like if you are an outsider, you can't accidentally stumble upon Hogwarts because like since you don't know about it, it will redirect you like through it, and you'll never know it was there.
Mm.
That's how the world is. So
That's pretty
people
cool.
don't- So people don't know it's flat. It's just the solar system is just a bunch of flat planets. Just like
Yeah,
flying saucers. Like if they get enough centrifugal velocity, they'll be like,
well, all the planets are fake. It's all just like a dome simulation over the flat Earth that the
Yeah.
government is.
Exactly, it's just a
Yeah, yeah.
simulation.
Everything's a simulation. It's all CGI. It's all VFX.
It's all CG.
my favorite thing about those type of theories is like, so what if we're living in a simulation? Like, what am I gonna do about
like,
it?
what's the difference? Like, what can I
We're,
do?
Like, if
Yeah.
we're living in the Matrix, we're living in the Matrix. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm not Neo. Like, I can't do anything about it. I just have to accept my fate.
Yeah,
It's like I'm not changing anything about it. Like I'm not
There's no
gonna be
pills
able
for
the
me to
person
take.
that's like breaks the fourth wall and is able to like get up to the people and be like, hey, this isn't right.
yeah.
You're controlling us. Like, what am I gonna do about it?
We're
That's
just
actually-
pawns and we accept it.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, whatever. But then, of course, the whole thing is like, why would it? Or like, it's like, oh, the government's lying to you. Like, if the Earth is really flat, it's like, what do they gain out of that?
Yeah.
Like, what do they
Yeah.
possibly gain about it being flat versus it being a sphere? Like, they're like,
Well, because
what-
then people then try to take that and be like, well, since they lied about the Earth being round, they also probably lied about this because that's what the
And then
government
they just
does.
like extrapolate the conspiracy
Yeah.
just so much further.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It's like, what if the world, like, people talk about the moon landing. It's like,
It's fake.
What-
Filmed
like,
in a
what-
dark
okay.
gym.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. What is it? Like, I was like, if it is fake, the moon landing was fake. What are you gonna, like, what does it change?
Exactly. It's like, oh well, it was fake. It was propaganda. It's like, then what? How does it affect you though?
Yeah.
Like, what is? Like, who cares?
Yeah. I was like, we won the space race, so like,
We won the space race. I mean, the Russians did stop after
Yeah.
that. So I mean, it really just didn't change anything then. So. Like, what are we going to go back and be like, no, they didn't actually win the space race. We're taking that away from you.
someone's gonna go back in time and like screw it up.
Yeah.
So then, like in an alternate reality, the Russians are gonna keep going up to the moon,
Exactly.
trying to get missiles up there because someone like blew the secret.
Exactly. It's like, oh, they actually aren't on the moon right now. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you do realize they sent, like, the Russia sent cosmonauts to the moon afterwards. It didn't stop anything. Like,
We're coming upon the first time the United States are going to land people on the moon since 1969,
yes, we are.
which is very, very
Yes.
cool. I find space travel to be almost a monetary pointless thing. Like, it does, like, we waste so much money on it that it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. But I think it's cool.
Yeah. Like, realistically speaking, there's not a actual point to it, but it's awesome, and I like
Yeah.
that they're doing it.
I like that it's privately funded more because I'm like, when like just
Yeah.
SpaceX is going up, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then like it's a little bit political. But when I'm like NASA is going up, I'm like, should the government really be spending money on taking pictures
when
of
we
the sun?
have, when we have a lot of other stuff going on in the country right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Definitely.
don't really know if I need that
Yeah.
picture of the sun right now, but it looks cool.
But that looks really cool, and I want to use that as a wallpaper.
That's a dope wallpaper. Feel free to
That's a
screenshot.
dope wallpaper.
It's already on the background of my Mac.
Yeah, NASA posted. Yo, feel free to screenshot.
Yo, like
Yeah.
all those Andromeda like close-ups, like that's obviously
Yeah.
real. Like I'm glad my money's going towards that.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, man. Thanks,
I
man.
can't believe they-
NASA spot collars? Who cares?
We'll fly billions of light years away to get you a dope wallpaper.
Do you guys ever think they're gonna actually get to a point where they want to like put people on Mars to make a settlement?
I could see there's people there that have that, like they're just that ambitious. They just want to do it for the sake of doing it. Like there's people like that, and those people have money, so I think it'll happen someday.
I think now that we've essentially commercialized spaceflight, I think
Yeah.
someone's going to figure out a way to do it. Because
Yep.
I think with, like, what is it? Musk is obviously SpaceX, and then I think it's what, Blue
Jeff
Origin?
Bezos has Blue Origin.
Yes, yeah.
Blue
So
Origin,
now that we have essentially like a privatized space race, someone's going to do it.
Mhm.
Because we have like all the billionaires and like almost trillionaires. I think they're actually getting kind of close to it. But like someone's gonna like be like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna get somebody on Mars so that way I can make ads for it. That's what I'm gonna do. I can privatize this. I can buy all this land, and I'm gonna do something with it. I have no idea.
We're
I'm
not
sure.
Okay, yeah, we're not close to trillion yet. Elon's worth 215 billion.
Okay, so we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, not at the rate he's growing. Like
Yeah.
low key, like I'm kind of confused how Elon Musk has more money than Jeff Bezos because like Amazon.
Wasn't-
I mean, it's not. I know it just doesn't go on company size, but like Amazon is much bigger than Tesla.
Mm-hmm. Well, because Elon has a lot of. He has like his paws in a lot of different companies.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
that's the
just
thing.
Tesla,
Yeah, he does like he's just like everywhere, but like you really just hear him talk about like even his like little like wiki right here is like
Yeah.
founder CEO of SpaceX, and then like Tesla,
Mhm.
product architect of Tesla, and then they start adding like little things later, but it's like no, those are really important. Oh, I didn't know Elon Musk was born in South Africa.
Yeah, he's South African.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
I have a big hypothetical question. Like,
Shoot.
you won't experience it, but so I don't know if this has happened yet, but say for example, we found a planet like that's habitable for humans. It's like an Earth,
Mhm.
millions of light years away. Do you guys think it within like the whole lifetime of humankind that we will be able to develop technology to reach that, or do you think like we'll just be burned out before then? Because I think we'll probably be gone within less than 500 years just because of war, overpopulation, just everything.
Yeah, I really want to be that eternal optimist, but the odds are
Gotta
stacked
be
against
realistic
us right
here.
now. Odds are pretty stacked against us. But hey, never give up hope. You can always just like keep working for it, but odds are probably not.
Here's what I'll say. I think there's a lot of times in human history where you could point to like, oh, this could have been the end, or like whatnot, and it's never happened.
Yeah.
So I think it will really be a long time. So I think eventually we will try to go out that far because like it's always about like that next step, that progress. There's so many times in human history where it's like, oh, we invented the wheel, like nothing could get better than this, and then it just like keeps going through a step, and you don't even see it as much like through our own eyes. Like I don't even know what is like breakthrough tech now. Like I think about like, well, our generation's kind of like stagnant, right? Like we're not inventing like the car for the first time or anything, or the light bulb for the first time and whatnot. But it's like when you look at it through hindsight in 20 years, you're gonna be like, damn, like artificial intelligence is gonna take over the world, and we're living in the heart of it.
Yeah, because like with like technology, there's almost like these peaks and plateaus where like it'll advance incredibly quickly, and then kind of like it'll slow down a little bit, and then it's just one breakthrough, and then it just keeps going. It was like it took us like hundreds and hundreds of years to advance from like any sort of like, well, from just like basic civilization, and then once electricity was invented, then that just sent everything crazy. Then I think we're in that spot right now where it's like we have the internet, and like it's kind of almost gotten to like that edge point where it's like we need the next thing to be able to then send technology further. And I think that's going to be AI, which is horrifying to think about.
That's scary.
But cool.
Because like, and I know the whole thing is like, oh well, like Skynet is like not going to happen because like they can just build redundancies into the AI. But it's like if the AI can then learn and then change, like the whole thing with that is very exponential. So it's going to happen very quickly. So I'm just hoping that whoever is developing that does their job right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just please be careful.
We're behind schedule though, because according to Back to the Future 2, in 2015 we should have had flying cars, hoverboards.
Right.
We haven't had that yet, so we're 7 years behind schedule still. Haven't seen really like the exact models of like hoverboards and stuff.
The funny thing about flying cars is they almost serve no purpose except making more fatal crashes. Like, if you really think that, unless you're saying like flying cars, like you'll take them like actual like airplanes like across country and stuff. They do really, because if you hit someone in the air and then your like thrusters like come crashing down, you're hitting the ground in a car that's gonna inevitably explode.
Yep. And the one thing that I think people kind of forget about flying cars is that like, yes, it would make things better, but you still have to park. Like parking is still an issue. Like you still have to you can't just like fly it wherever. It's like, oh, and then you just land it and then it's fine. It's like, okay, well, parking is still an issue now. Just because you can fly doesn't really make a difference.
What you do is you get like
into a drop down ladder.
Like that's what I was thinking. Like hot air balloons, like the rope ladder. Like you get there and you put your car in park, and then you let the ladder down and you climb down.
So you just everybody learns how to like fast rope down there. Like the special forces, they just throw a rope at the side.
It'll drop to obesity in this country like crazy. Like
oh yeah, people just fast roping down.
Yeah, because people are gonna need to get back up to their flying car after done. You know, like you're going to like the Nike store or something, you get right above it, and you're like, you drop your rope down and you climb down it.
Yeah, or like you're just like grab onto the rope and just get pulled away by the flying car.
That's exactly how it's gonna be.
Yep.
Magnetic levitation is something I think that could be really cool for like public transit and stuff.
They have a lot of that in Japan. I think they have like we just need more trains. We need more trains. Like it is. I know. I guess we're all from Jersey here actually, so like we all have like use like the train line. It is so convenient. It is so nice to be able to just you buy a ticket or like you already have like a pass or something that like you pay yearly, whatever, and you just get on a train and you're dropped off in the middle of another town. It's like no need for a car, no need for nothing. You just get on a train. We just need more trains. That's what we need.
I was thinking like how Europe like they have like the high speed like across Europe like transcontinental like railroads that get you from country to country. Like I don't know why in the U.S. we don't have that like to get around the U.S. itself, like from East Coast to West Coast. Like I don't understand why we don't have that.
Yeah, because I think we do have it. I think we do actually have it. It's just not for like it's not for I don't know what would that be like personal
traveling
transport
purposes.
Yeah, it's like it's for like freight and like commercial stuff. But it's like it's stupid. It's like just put normal trains on it. Just let us get on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Is that the high
There was
sequence, or is it
there
just
was
like the-
there was
Yes.
a big
Yeah.
there was a big project that they were like talking about where you would be able to get from like Florida to
It's the
DC and like
Transcontinental Railway. Yeah.
like some big project, which would be super dope, but
Yeah.
it just never
just
happens
stopped,
because no
yeah.
one wants to agree to pay for it, and it's just like a big project. And the same thing like goes with like our area. Like Pittsburgh doesn't have a subway system, and I think a subway system would be very beneficial. But it's like
Yes.
digging a subway is very hard to do.
Above ground train. Do
I
it.
know. I'm totally. I was talking to someone. I think they should take out. We have for people who aren't aware of like Oakland, Pittsburgh area. Like a lot of the areas we have like these bus lanes,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, just take out the bus lane, put some magnets in there, and like get trains to go down them, and
Yeah.
they'll be exactly like the buses, but they'll move faster. They'll be smoother.
And they'll be safer, I think, because you'll be able to stop it electronically, so it's not really dealing with somebody that's gonna like do something stupid, like, like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll be able to make this light, whatever, just like gun it down there. It's
Yeah.
like, no, it'll like be timed, it'll automatically do that. Yeah,
And then maybe in certain areas, if you want to have them go like underground and like
Yeah.
turn into a subway, you could eventually dig out the problem because they do like for people who aren't like Pittsburgh does have underground subway in in downtown that goes over into like our south side and north shore areas, but they're not underground for long and they're not that big. But like what they do have is like kind of nice. They just won't
Yeah.
dig more, which
there's
is
isn't
understandable.
enough of it. It's like it gets
Yeah.
you from like one point to another. So it's like if you need to do that, it's great. But it's like there's a lot of other situations where you would like need a train to get from somewhere from point A to point B, and they only have it's like okay, well you can go from the North Shore to downtown, and it's like you have to be in this one spot to be able to go to it. It's like well I would have to drive like 20 minutes to go to this train
Yeah,
stop,
the
but it's all
problem-
just drive to downtown.
The issue is if you're where we are on Pitt's campus and you want to go over to the football stadium by public transit, you need to take a bus to get to downtown, then transfer onto the train to get to the football arena.
Yeah,
But really, you want that process to be you get on a train and you go right to the stadium.
exactly.
But you can't do that with the system in place.
Mhm.
That'd be hype too, just like a full train packed of just us like students.
Pitt
going to the
students,
game.
that would
That'd
be
hype. That'd be
Electric.
so hype. Like in New York, they have that for like Yankees games, Mets games,
Yankees
whatever,
games, Mets
anything.
games.
Like the subways
Knicks
get
games
electric.
are electric.
Yeah, exactly. And if they
Yes.
had that, like get some sort of underground subway from Oakland direct to Hines.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm like, even if you don't want to make it a full-on subway, like I'm connecting this college area because Carnegie Mellon's pretty big too. Like if you put a station like I don't know, like right around like Kathy or something, and you just had like Carnegie students could also walk to it, like the economy would do better because it would like incentivize more Pitt kids and like Carnegie kids to go downtown. Like I'd be more
Exactly.
likely to go down on a random like Friday if it was like, oh,
You
we're
just
just
hop
gonna
on the train, like
hop
yeah.
on the train, go there and back. But otherwise, it's like, oh, you gotta go there, and then you gotta find parking, and then you gotta like leave at a certain time and get back, and then it's just
Mhm.
very complicated.
Yep. Trains are the wave. I like them.
I like
Yeah,
that.
no, I heard too. Airplanes are like the one thing too that's where like I feel like airplanes are stagnant. Like I don't really know like where airplanes are gonna get much better. I feel like airplanes are kind of reaching their peak a little bit. Like I don't really
Yeah.
know how much better they're gonna get.
Yeah, I don't know what else like they would do. Like they're like do planes just
That's
get
true.
bigger, like faster,
Oh.
like I don't know, like Tom Cruise, he's just like, all right, we're gonna go Mach 10 now. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is to do besides just
Yeah.
go faster.
It's like they're already so fast that I'm like, at what point does it become like? And it's not like the airport process is going to get easier.
It's
As
it's gonna get
compared to
worse
other-
if
It's gonna
anything.
get worse.
Yeah, exactly. So
More
it's
and
not
more
like
people.
the argument for like better trains is like, okay, well, you don't need to go up in the air, you don't need to go through like very intense security, you can just stay on the ground, and it's not that big of a deal. But airplanes are going to be like the airport process just gets more complicated. I'm not really sure you're going to be able to fly airplanes that much faster because like even if you're like, all right, we're going to make it like 20% faster, it's like,
But then it's like
Hey.
going through the whole process of getting there.
yeah, it's
adds
like,
up so much time.
is it worth it?
Yeah.
But then I guess as an argument, like when if trains eventually like try to combat airports, like are train stations then going to have increased security?
Yeah. Well, because obviously, I don't think they would be able to go international, although never know, maybe we'll eventually have a tunnel going
Cross
under.
ocean
Yeah,
one.
That would
Yeah.
be so. I would be there. I would be there
Transcontinental
day
railway,
one if
Yeah.
they were like we need testers. That would be.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sign me up. Like I'd get on that that rail.
the big tube underwater that just
They put you to sleep with like some general anesthesia, so you can go like into like time warp
cryo sleep.
Yeah.
Send you in there like Captain America.
because they don't want like your brain to get disturbed by like the force.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Uh,
Oh my god, yeah.
that'd
Well,
be cool. Let's
that
make
would
it
be
happen.
hilarious. Let's make it happen.
Sponsored by the Watch
Trains.
Deathly podcast.
You know what? That's the next thing.
We love
Trains.
trades.
We are already like $20 trillion in debt. What's anymore? Just make us some trains, man. It's so cool.
It'll pay off long term.
It'll pay off long term. It'll get people moving. It'll be more efficient. Magnet trains.
Magnet
Yeah.
trains, baby.
Magnet
Trains,
trains.
it's better in almost every way.
It's such a
because
better vibe.
They could probably
Usurp.
fit more people. You don't really have as many delays because, like with planes, like you have weather delays, whatever. Trains are pretty much like they don't have to deal with traffic. Like planes will have to like deal with like all that traffic at the airport, landing strip, whatever. And you always have that big line. But trains, like it's pretty straightforward.
Stop on train. You're good.
And they're just and even if you do like they're smoother too. Like our buses like will be bouncing all around and stuff. It's just like if you just make the train way nice and you don't do construction on it, you just keep it and it like well maintained by like the city and stuff like that. It's just gonna be a like nice, smooth, quicker ride. And even if you only have a little bit of sections that are underground where it's busy, like that'd be nice. That'd be nice because our Pittsburgh is a city of like neighborhoods. So if you want to connect all those neighborhoods to a central point downtown, you're gonna have to like do
Gotta
trains
figure it
because the bus system. There are worse bus systems. I know San Francisco's bus system is really bad, but
Yeah.
but ours is not great either. Like there's very niche things. Like you can't just be like, all right, there's a couple stations I could get off at and just walk here. It's like it's not easy. You have to like find if I'm trying to go to like the hospital or something in a bus. There's only like one or two buses I can take. I can't just like take a couple different lines to get to one stop, and they're not frequent. Like on Sundays, I'll run in the morning and then I go to the hospital, but like I don't want to get there like super early because I need all the time I can get. So I know there's like I have to make the bus that comes around at like 11:20 to 11:30, or else like I'm gonna have to walk.
Mhm.
No, I always have a bone to pick with Pittsburgh Port Authority. There's a bus that, like, I have to take downtown to go to work. It's only one bus line that passes through, and it comes once every hour. So if you miss it, you're screwed. And, like, that's whatever. Like, I'll always go a few minutes early, always make it. But there's also one time I went to get a haircut freshman year. The most scarring.
Oh, I remember.
I
this.
feel like I've heard this from you before. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's actually happened kind of twice. But anyways, so first time, right? I get recommended at this haircut place in the Lawrenceville neighborhood, so I have to take a bus to get there. So first part, completely on me. So the bus comes. Here's the thing. I take it going the wrong direction. So I realized I'm like, wait, I'm going the wrong way on the map. So like I'm already like 5 blocks down. Like I'm by Carlo's campus. And
Oh.
I get off and I'm like, oh God, I sprint right back. Luckily I'm like, okay, there's a bus coming in 5 minutes, right? So I get back in on time. I'm waiting. 5 minutes are gone, 10 minutes are gone, 15 minutes are gone, 20 minutes have gone. Then the bus just disappears from there. And the next one's not for like another hour and a half, and my appointment's in like 15 minutes. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I have to Uber. And then I get to the haircut place. I get my haircut. I mean, I had to spend extra money for the Uber. Then I go to the bus stop on the way back, and the bus comes a little late. It's like 20 minutes, whatever. So then the next time I go. But the bus I got back. But the second time I get the bus there, that's fine. The bus on the way back, I missed 2 cycles of the bus just not showing up. Like other bus lines pass by this stop, so I'm stranded out in that random neighborhood trying to get back to campus because I'm tired. Like I just want to go home. 3 hours pass of me waiting at the bus stop, waiting for that bus because I just do not want to spend money on another Uber. I want to go home, but I need to wait it out. I hope this bus comes, and it comes to the point where this bus is coming. There's one more like time that it's running for the day, and thank God it comes. But I've spent hours waiting. So, Pittsburgh Port Authority, get it together.
It's been better since like the pandemic's kind of lightened up a little bit, which has been nice. But like,
Yeah.
it can just be very tough sometimes. So it's very frustrating. I think it works well if you like have a very set routine. Like when I go to work in the morning, I know there's a ton of buses always going in the downtown direction on 5th. So like I know that I can get it very easily in the morning. But coming back, like today I started waiting at the bus stop because I was feeling lazy, didn't want to walk back. And I waited for like 10 minutes and I was just like, screw this. Like I'm just going to walk because I don't know when the next one's coming. So it's like if you have a very good system in place, it works well.
Mm-hmm.
And they also run on time in the morning because that's like they're starting up for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
But,
no
like,
excuse.
Midday and night, it's like who knows? Like don't
It's
bother
brutal.
following a schedule.
Yeah.
Not on the not that's driver's fault, by the way. It is completely
Exactly.
an institution fault.
Yeah. Because like
Yeah.
at a certain point, there's just nothing they can do. It's
What
like
can they do?
get stuck in
Yeah.
traffic. They get stuck in traffic. Like there's nothing you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I think I want to after this thrilling
Ah.
conversation about I don't even know how we got on this conversation.
I don't know how we got here either.
But the main thing I wanted to talk about on the pod today is I was thinking about it. I thought about it for a couple of weeks because I just have never asked any of you guys. But like, what were our origin stories or first impressions of meeting each other? Because for three of the people on this pod, Peter, Andres, and Raj, you guys all lived on the same floor. But Jacob and I did not live on the same floor as you guys. And Jacob was closer to you guys until I met you guys. So like, there's a lot of different ways that we like came together. So I want to know like what was everyone's first impressions of the people on the pod?
Well, very, very, very first impressions. So first day of school, freshman year, I was standing outside my room. I was talking to another guy on my floor because, I just had my door open and I was like, okay, I guess I got to talk to somebody. I mean, this is my very first day of college and it's in the middle of a pandemic and I have no idea what's going on. So I talked to somebody. And then slowly but surely, another person kind of notices that we're talking. They walk over, so there's like 3 people talking, and then 4, then 5, then basically the entire floor is standing outside my door. We're all just kind of talking, whatever. And I see come around the corner.
Masks on, of course.
Masks on, of course. Yes, don't worry.
course.
All right, Justin, don't worry. All of our masks were
were
absolutely on. Yes. And then I see 2 people around the corner, and those 2 people were in fact Raj and Andres walking around the corner. I had no idea who they were at this point. I think I saw Andres first, I believe. So we're talking very first impressions. I'm like,
Love at first sight.
exactly, love at first sight. But I think Andres, you might have had like a little bit of like scruff, something going on there. So I was like, okay, like yeah, that's definitely a college student. And then I saw Raj. Look, now I want to make something very clear. He looked like someone's younger brother. I don't know if it was the haircut or he was like clean shaven or like what it was.
He was also a lot smaller.
He is, yeah. So he's so much smaller than Andres, so it makes sense with Andres towering over him that he would look like someone's younger brother. I don't know. He just looked very young to me for some reason. And then I heard him say one word and heard his voice that was like 2 octaves lower than I was thinking it was going to be. I was like, "Oh, that's a college student. Never mind."
Yep.
Like, I thought that was someone's younger brother, like helping them move in or something. But no, this is absolutely a college student. And then yeah, like from there, I think it was us 3 kind of started talking because we were all from Jersey. Because I think everybody on our floor was like either from New York or like somewhere else. I think
Probably
Wow.
Central PA.
probably Central.
Yeah,
That's what it was. It was either New York or Central PA. It was everyone was from there. Everyone was from there, but we were the only 3 Jersey guys. So I think we just started kind of talking, and then it was like we all obviously ended up like figuring out that we're all interested in kind of the same stuff, and then just kind of became friends from there. But yeah, that was the origin of us 3. But I truly do not remember the first time I met you, Justin.
No. So I had the
do
same
remember.
reaction. I do not remember any time meeting Andres or Raj. Like at some point,
What?
they just became my friends. Like I do not remember the first day I met. Like I think I remember the first day I met you guys, but like I don't have an idea. So this is what like inspired this talk because I was like I cannot pinpoint when I became friends with you guys. It just like because like for people listening, like I didn't really like freshman year I did not hang out with like any of the guys besides Jacob. Occasionally, like, I just really like did my schoolwork and whatnot, and then saw like even second semester like I started hanging out with you guys much more till like the later half of the year.
Yeah.
So like Jacob is not here right now and Raj is not here right now, but like you guys were all hanging out like throughout some parts of the first semester, but then a lot like the second semester. But I was like a late comer, so I'm like, okay, what I can remember. But what I do remember is I met Peter first time in the elevator because he was wearing his Crocs. He has like these blue and purple Crocs, and he had like these he has the Marvel like things inside of them.
Yes.
Like I don't know what they're called.
Gimmets, yes.
Gimmets. And I remember being like, I like your Crocs. And then it never occurred to me until I saw Peter walking into Raj's room months later. And I was like, oh my God, he's the person I complimented on the Crocs.
I didn't realize that was the first time. That's so funny.
So that's
my
my first memory of meeting Peter. And I think Peter I met for like the first time. I think I met you for the first time when it was maybe my birthday.
Ooh, yeah, that might have been it. That sounds
might have been the first time I met you.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because Jacob, because it was my birthday, I don't remember what Jacob and I were doing, but Jacob had come over, and then I think my birthday might have been a Friday or something, or maybe it wasn't. But he was pretty much like, "Oh, can all like the people come up?" Because I had like all known about
that.
You guys.
Is what it. Yes.
So then
that's
where I think I might have met Raj and Andres for the first time, but like I'm very unsure about that. I'm pretty confident it's the first time.
I'm taking that personally because I remember I met you.
Oh.
I'm taking that personally because I have such a distinct memory.
A distinct memory.
Ooh.
Like, I don't remember how I met Jacob. Like, I know some mutual friends, but I don't remember the exact moment. But I remember meeting you because it was towards the end of the first semester. Me and Jacob had gotten lunch, whatever. And we're chilling in Jacob's room, and you're next door, so he tells you to
Oh,
up.
I do remember this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I remember I met you before. Like, I told Raj about you, and then I remember you guys met second semester, but I remember I met you end of first semester. And then Peter, obviously, I guess I'll give my point of view. So I'm just chilling in my room, setting it up. I hear people outside. I open the door. I'm like, oh, wow, is everyone on my floor? I want to go check it out. Raj is like in his room. I knocked on his door. I was like, yo, let's go. Because I've known Raj since like preschool because we went to the same town up until 8th grade. Then I moved for high school. And actually 2 towns over from Peter. So like we found that out. That was another reason why we were like so close because we had mutual friends, whatever. Like our friends knew other friends. So
yeah,
right off the bat, like we had connections. But yeah. So
speak of the devil.
Where's Jacob?
We don't know.
We don't know. But yeah. So I see all these guys line up around, which turned out to be Peter's room, and we ended up just like Peter said, we hit it off, and that's how we met everyone. And I need to clarify from earlier when I said Raj was smaller. I did mean compared to me, obviously, because I tower over him. But I meant compared to now, especially because he had a very small frame beginning of freshman year, but he has come a long way since due to chicken and rice. So, yeah. So Raj actually is now looking like a college kid and not someone's younger brother.
Now he can fight for his life.
Yeah, I really enjoyed these backhanded compliments.
Yeah, we were just talking about the first time that like we all met, essentially.
Yeah,
I was describing how
our first
you
impressions,
looked like someone's younger brother.
Yeah. So, and then Justin, like my first impression of you, like, because you said like first semester you didn't really know feel, so I was like, oh,
yeah, I forgot.
A nice kid, but you're like, I thought it was like, oh, but you're like you're pretty like, pretty shy,
Independent,
but
like,
Then I got to know you, and I was like, okay, like we have
this
lot
is
of
a guy.
like this is a guy. You're gonna spend more time with us.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that because I don't know when I meet people like. Not that you were like insignificant, but Jacob was like, "Oh, cool, my friend Andres is in my room. Like, we need to talk real quick." Like, that's what Jacob would do. He'd have people over in his room and be like, tell them like, "Yo, my guy Justin, like, he also has advice on this," or like Jacob would be like talking about like some girl issue he had, and he'd be telling someone else about that. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Justin has some thoughts. Let me go grab him real quick." So then I'd pull up in the room with like a bunch of other people, and then he'd always be like, "This is my friend Andres," and I'd be like, "What's up, Andres?" But I would never like figure I would like be friends with them later in life. So I was just kind of like, cool. And I never like took it time to commit it to memory. But now I'm like, oh yes, I do remember that you were in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jacob's interesting though, like because
you were wearing Adidas long pants. I can remember that.
That makes sense. That sounds about me. But no, Jacob, like I remember we met through mutual friends like second week. That's all I remember, but I don't remember the exact moment we met him. Peter, Raj, do you guys remember? Because I know we all met him at the same time.
How we met Jacob?
Jacob, it was when
Jacob.
the first time we met was when we played Spikeball and Shenley. But I don't know who really talked to him that day. The time where like Jacob actually started talking to us, so just sitting there and watching us was like when we went to the incline. At least that's when I talked to him.
Okay, I definitely did talk to him a lot more there. And then like we figured out like we have a lot in common, so then we just hit it off.
Mhm.
Like that's how we became friends. But exactly, because I didn't remember the exact moment I met him. But I know we met him through mutual friends.
And then meanwhile, I honestly did not know of Justin's existence. One, because Jacob never brought him up around me. And then I just never knew that there was a dude who's the same major as me.
No, like Raj, you and I are like very eerily like the same person,
Yeah.
just different skin tones, and like
Just move the
we have-
shader a little bit to the right, and then
I
you're good.
think out of like all people on the pod, like Raj and I might have the most in common, and I had zero idea who he was, and like our mutual friend at that point was like Jacob, and Jacob just like never brought it up that we were like both pre-med, both rehab sci majors, like,
Both
like-
Eagles and all Phillies fans.
yeah, both
Like,
from Jersey,
exactly.
both
Yeah.
from Jersey.
both
Like
have
Jacob-
basically the same sense of humor.
Yeah.
Raj, wasn't it me that told you about Justin? Like I remember.
Yeah, because it was started second
Yeah.
sem. You asked me if I wanted to go out to dinner with you and Jacob and Justin. I was like, "Who's Justin?" He's like, "Jacob's roommate." I'm like, "Jacob had a roommate? Wait, what?" I was like, "I've never heard of this kid." And then I remember we were walking back, and Justin just casually goes, "Oh, Roger, I think those are bio TA." And I go, "Wait, you're in my bio class?"
Like I know names. Like I can figure out names.
I was
Justin
so
is the
confused.
washer.
I was like, so this kid is the same major as me, same sports, same everything, and
In the
Jacob-
same class.
same class, and Jacob fails to mention any fact about that, knowing both of us separately, and both of us have explained beforehand our teams, our majors, where we're from, almost everything. And he failed to make that like little connection, like, oh, maybe both of them would be great friends.
The
And it's
neurons
funny-
just did not connect at all. They were just
Yeah.
sitting there waiting, and it just
And the-
never happened.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is like back to how I met Jacob. Like I met Jacob through like the Facebook page, like how you make roommates. And I was like, once Jacob said that Jacob was like, I'm a football athlete and a track athlete. Like it screams like big jock, like at school, whatnot. and then he had the balls to write on his Facebook thing, I love Harry Potter. And I was like, that's the guy. I was like, I'm like,
that's
I
the
always,
one.
I always feel like I have like balance between like okay, I'm into all the nerdy stuff, but then like, I'm into sports a lot. And like in high school, you get a lot of I'm either all in the sports and the nerdy stuff is weird, or like I'm all into the nerdy stuff. That's how like my high school rolled. So then when I saw Jacob, I was like, that's the kid.
Yeah.
And so like we ended up like calling for like 3 hours one day, and then we were like, all right, let's be roommates. And then we didn't end up being roommates because of COVID. But like I knew Jacob throughout that whole like time. Like we met day one and like hung out occasionally since then. And I was always his counselor friends. I remember one day a bunch of our mutual friends were like having some issue with like a guy. And then Jacob like literally called. I'm like, it's 2 a.m. I'm like sleeping in my bed, getting ready to go to bed. And Jacob calls. He's like, "Yo, you awake?" And I was like, "Yeah," but I wasn't really like I really have to. But it's like
You
like,
really
"Yo,
should have just said no, and then just hung up.
He was like, "You should come down to floor 7," and I was like, "I like."
All right.
So I threw my glasses on, which is weird because all those people met me for the first time. I'm like wearing my glasses. I never wear my glasses. And then like I pull up down there. And like that would be constant. Or Jacob would be like, my friends are over in the room. You should come over real quick. Or he'd be like, pop over real quick, Justin. The best is when he would FaceTime me, even though like our rooms were adjacent, and he'd be like asking me questions. I'd be
It's
like,
like-
you're literally in the room next to me.
Like, just knock on my door.
Or me and Raj did not bang on the wall to signify to come over.
That was classic. That was classic.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
you could bang on that
I'd
wall
be
right
asleep because Raj hours are nocturnal hours, so I'd be like fast asleep. It'd be 3 a.m. and this kid bangs onto the wall.
Okay, well, in my defense, hear me out. It wasn't to get your attention. It was because I was getting pissed off at Call of Duty or something,
Oh my
and I
god.
needed to get my anger out.
And I would be like, what?
And I'm like, yo, I text you like, my bad.
Raj, do you remember when we first met? Because I have to think
Yeah.
it was
It was
My
the
birthday.
It was stacked. That was the first time we met when we went to Stack. Me, you, Andres, Jacob. That was the
when
first
did
time.
the 4 of us go to Stacked?
Very
Really
early on. Very
Really?
early on. Like start of second sem we went. Like I think first or second weekend.
When?
How do you not remember this?
He didn't even
We got the
remember me.
nachos. That's when we got nachos, and Jacob was making fun of you for the jalapenos.
Justin Fake
Yeah,
Show.
screw Jacob for that. He always has that over my head. Screw Jacob for that. He always, no matter what he feels, every time there's a jalapeno in sight, he mentions my jalapeno problem.
Yeah, that
Just the spice tolerance.
first time meeting you, instead of Jacob trying to hype you up to me or something. Oh yeah, this kid he's so white, he can't eat jalapenos. He
Immediately
thinks
starts
it's spicy.
bagging on him like a no holds barred. Yeah. Oh my god.
I've never
Yeah,
felt so
But
inferior
that
as
was
a
the
white
first time we
male.
met. Oh my god.
I had 3 ethnic people around me, like, shitting on me for my spice handling ability. I was like, damn.
Damn.
Like I said, we're just gonna microdose you until you get a spice tolerance.
What did we have the other day that was spicy that I'd like? Oh, we were
The
at Sushi
cookies?
Bomb and
It had the
Sushi Bomb
wasabi.
salmon roll.
Wasabi.
Yeah, like wasabi
And
sauce.
literally never affected me. And I was
Yeah.
like, there's something wrong with it. It had to have been something wrong with it. I was like, there's no way.
I think they just
That's-
put like a
that's a little
tiny
kick.
bit and then just like do a whole thing with it.
They knew me from last time that I was sweating. They're like, that kid. Like,
They saw you
They dialed
sweating.
it down.
Like,
They dialed it
like you
down.
like sat down and you like looked at like half the menu with like the little like pepper icon on like everything, and you immediately started sweating. They were like, "Do not give him anything spicy."
I was blacklisted. Like, they saw me walking. They're like, that kid, no.
They were like, That one thinks that salt is spicy. Don't let him anywhere near any of the heat that we have
Mhm.
here."
I want
Yeah.
Sushi Bomb to get like a plaque wall where like if you do some kind of something cool or like get some accomplishment, you like get your name on a wall. That
Oh
would be
my
sick.
I would
Awesome.
fight for that for my
You
life.
would
Oh yeah.
you would
got the
put up
best
more
odds.
legend.
Put my
That would be
money
like
on
Wilt
you.
Chamberlain's 100-point game.
Dude, I would be putting up like 6 rolls of baseline, and then I'm just getting everything else because I was hungry after all of that. I still wanted to eat.
Like, I'm so hungry.
I don't know what was wrong with me that day. Like, I legitimately, like, for a second, I was like, "Do I have like a tapeworm or something? Like, why am I still hungry?" Because like I ate all of that, and then like jokingly, I was like, "Haha, like, should we go to Taco Bell?" And then like I said that, I was like, I could destroy a quesadilla right now.
You're being dead serious.
I like really thought about it. I was like, I really could. Right? I don't know what was wrong with me.
Oh, Raj, we need an update. Have they restocked the Mexican pizzas?
Oh, right.
I think so.
Taco Bell's
Good work,
back.
Taco Bell. Good work, Taco Bell.
Love
You can
Taco
always
Bell.
sponsor us. Yeah.
Andres, stop shaking your head. You go into Taco Bell expecting authentic Mexican
No, I don't.
food.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I expect
That's-
edible food.
That it is edible.
It is edible. It's processed to all hell to make it edible. Okay, it's not actual food, but they make it edible. Okay, how dare you?
I do not expect anything near. That is such a terrible taste.
This man walks in there and goes, "The carne asada is terrible. Where's the carne asada? There's nothing in here that's authentic."
I expect solid food that I can eat quick.
I want steak. I want
from a
steak.
fast
Woo,
food
woo, woo,
restaurant.
woo, woo, woo,
My-
woo, woo.
It's
My
allowed to
beef
be
was
fake.
fuzzy. Oh no, from 8 years
Woo,
ago.
woo, woo, woo.
Then
Why
get the
does the beef?
chicken.
Why does the beef
Because
come
I'm a
out of a
beef guy.
hose? Ugh.
Then get the steak. There's other options.
I'm a beef guy with tacos, so that's why I like the beef.
And
I know
8 years ago, you got done
5
dirty
years-
by a Taco
No,
Bell.
for 5 years straight, the beef was good, and then it was terrible.
Bro,
after
just
that.
because
It
your
was-
Taco Bell was bad doesn't mean that all Taco Bell
no,
is bad.
No, I went
All
to
Taco Bell is good.
No, I went
Thank
to
you.
several. It wasn't just one, but the worst experience was with the loaded potato griller, which was my favorite food from there, and then it was bad. Me and my dad.
Get a
both had
quesadilla like a normal human being.
The loaded potato griller was fire.
I will admit,
until
those were gas.
At one point, until
Oh,
that one
God.
time where
I'm
there
getting
was probably.
hungry.
where there
Oh,
was-
so you got done dirty by fast food. How many times has Chipotle screwed you over?
But then they get a free meal with it.
Exactly.
Whoa.
And then they
Oh,
screw
God.
up that order, and then they keep screwing
Yeah.
up the orders, and they never actually get your order right.
You know, if Taco Bell screws your order up, you could just simply go and tell them and get a refund. It really isn't that difficult. They'll give you credit.
Are we all in agreement that Moe's is better than Chipotle?
No.
Moe's?
I haven't been to Moe's recent enough to
I think
do
Moe's
that.
is-
Oh.
I might
I
go
think it's
snag.
good.
I thought this was a consensus opinion.
No. I think it's good. It's solid for sure. Like that hasn't really done me wrong, but I think Chipotle is like.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase. Chipotle is, I think, is higher on my tier list because of the quality. Like the peak Chipotle is better than peak Moe's, but like Moe's
The
comes
floor
with
of Moe's is
Moe's
much higher.
comes
That's fair.
with
That's fair.
chips and like a decent number of them. So baseline, you're getting more food than you'd get at Chipotle.
That I do love about Moe's.
And Chipotle can completely screw up your order sometimes, and then Moe's doesn't. But Pancheros back at home in Jersey, they before you get your burrito. I don't know if you guys have them where you are.
Yeah,
from.
I went there once, yeah, or twice.
They'll toss your stuff in your burrito so it mixes,
That's genius.
and it's so much better.
It's solid. Yeah.
I hate when I have a burrito and I get a bite of just sour cream or just
that's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
and you're just gross.
It's like if I wanted
the cheese is the worst when you just get all the cheese in one bite. It's just cheese and non-cooked bread, and you're just
the sour cream's absolutely the worst because when you're chewing on a spoonful of sour cream, you're like, "This is terrible. Why did I come here?"
But you have to do it to get to the bigger, or you get the sour cream in the back of your mouth, and you're I'm going to try to get another bite to mix.
And then you're just it's just choking you in the back. It's just formed a complete seal around your esophagus. I can't breathe now.
Wait, I have a question, guys. Am I the only burrito guy here? Who's burrito, who's bowl?
Burrito all day.
Okay, all right.
I would take Peak Burrito is significantly better than Peak Bowl.
But what do you usually?
Usually,
Bowl.
Bowl is more convenient. I feel like, but if I had to choose one, I would choose Burrito.
Let's go. I'm a big burrito.
Yeah.
I usually go with the bowl, just one for convenience too.
Ooh, because I'm a gym bro, I need to get the bowl, no carbs, right?
Double protein, no rice.
Double protein,
No protein,
no rice.
no
Just give me a
rice.
bowl of chicken and queso.
Call it a day. Raj is baffled right now.
I legit thought he was frozen for a second. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I
Yeah,
know
you're
that
not
face. I
faking.
knew he wasn't frozen there. He's
Yeah.
just pissed.
Okay.
Roger's gonna come
Speaking
over
of-
here and
Yeah,
beat
speaking
my
of
ass
being a gym
now.
rat, for all my gym rats out there, use code WATCH20 on BuckedUp.com.
Oh my
20% off
God.
without purchase.
Peter, you keep talking over the bit. People aren't going to know the code. Raj, you want to
It's
repeat it again?
WATCH20 for 20% off your pre-workout needs on BuckedUp.com.
Isn't it in our bio or is it not?
Yeah,
No, I
think it
keep
is.
forgetting to put it in, but maybe one day I'll remember.
Oh my god.
I should probably do that. We did have recently in my running world a little bit of a hip flexor injury that has arisen,
Uh-oh.
but I took 2 days off and it seems that we're doing better, so should be running tomorrow. But
There you go.
we're recovering. I do have no more of this pain in my little shoulder from lifting anymore, so that's good. I think it was
Unlike
just.
Andres, who's getting an
No.
MRI.
MRI is tomorrow. MRI.
Oh,
is
let's
tomorrow.
go!
Big day.
Are you
Tomorrow I'll
studying up
find
for the
out.
big exam?
I am. I'm gonna do some last minute cramming. You know the vibes. No, but it is literally Judgment Day because this determines my next 6 months to a year, whatever the next year. I don't know. I don't know the time frame, but it determines if I get surgery for the first time or not. So big day. Hoping I don't need surgery and I can lift again as soon as possible. I miss it so much. When I get back to the gym, you don't understand. I'm going to be lifting like a villain. I'm mad.
No,
I
don't
miss
do
lifting.
that. That's the last
No,
thing you should be
he's-
doing.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Dude, he's
That's
gonna
how you
get
repair.
he's gonna get through all of PT and then he's just gonna rack 225 on the bench and just drop it on his neck just instantly.
No, he'll do he'll get it and start going back up, and then he'll just his right side or whatever side it is will just collapse down.
Left.
And he'll drop the
Yeah.
weight on his throat and die.
Shoulder dislocated, just ripped out of the socket, bar directly onto the neck, just dead.
I hope you know, after surgery, it's going to be 4 to 6 months. And you're
Whoa,
starting
whoa,
from
whoa! We
square-
don't know. We don't know if it's surgery yet.
In the event of
You're
surgery.
getting an MRI, my man.
In the event of surgery, it's 4 to 6 months. And on top of that, you're going to be starting at square one. And when I say square one, I mean you're going to be doing 2.5 pounds. And I'm making sure you are.
Andres is
Before
gonna be. You're gonna go to the bench to start benching, and you're gonna actually Raj is gonna go over and get one of the bars that are just 20 or 30 pounds
Yep.
for you to do.
God.
45 will be
You
too
should
much.
probably just start with just that PVC pipe and just get it
Yeah.
back.
Honestly, yeah.
But
ROM.
When I hear 4 to 6 months, all I hear is 4 months. That's 6 months cut out.
Oh my god.
Um,
You sound like Raj recovering, where he's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's literally less than 24 hours after his sutures are, and he's like, yeah, I can hit the gym right now.
I could have.
That was literally like me when I was like, okay, you know what? My shoulder's not completely better. It feels kind of better. I go to hold the squat bar and I can't because my shoulder hurts.
Because it doesn't rotate
You can't
back
hitch it
far
back,
enough.
yeah.
I can't hold it. Yeah.
You go
Well-
under, you try to shift those shoulders back, and you're like,
Yeah.
ow!
Yeah,
Here's the difference. You heard several pops.
several.
Yeah.
Several is keyword.
Yeah.
You went
It was
underwater with the
more
with the
than one.
basketball.
Or it's more than zero, really.
We did go into that episode 18, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It might be
I-
17.
Might
Might
be.
be 17. Whichever one, if you go on our Instagram, find the clip of me talking about pool basketball. There we go more in depth about the events that led up to where we are right now.
That is a
So
great,
check that episode out.
great plug. Yes, it is episode 17 titled Raj's Big Injury, but Andres also did get injured.
God, he got the update.
Unfortunately for you, Andres, it just wasn't as big of and funny as an injury as Raj's, because
Yeah.
never fail to make jokes. For listeners of the pod, I considered making a funny video the other day where I pretended to chop off my finger to mock Raj, but then I decided the risk of getting injured was too great, and it
And
would
you
look
be
even
clowned
worse. Yeah,
relentlessly.
if the story was that I was making a video to mock Raj
and then
cut my
sliced your
finger,
head open.
that would be awful. I would never live it down.
No, no.
So
Absolutely
I
not.
decided not to do that.
That would be
But-
like the entire Washed Athlete podcast, essentially on IR. Two
Yeah,
from
but me-
slicing hands, one from a shoulder, one from dumping boiling water on his arm. That was Jacob.
What about
I-
you?
Since then,
I don't know.
Since then, I've dumped like boiling water out multiple times, and I'm still confused how he got it on his arm. Like I understand that
Yeah.
sometimes like things happen, but
Maybe it slipped.
it must have had to.
That
Come,
has-
like
that has to
I've
have
done
been
it
it.
multiple times since, and I'm like, it's not even close to my forearm. Like, and
He
more
definitely-
likely,
No, Justin.
It
This
had
is
to
what
have
happened.
slipped. It had to have
He
slipped.
thought he was that guy and tried holding the pot with his bare hands, like on the handles. Didn't realize it was going to get too hot. And he probably stumbled and then.
maybe because I could see a scenario which like you're pouring it out and you pour it out too fast, someone hops out of the sink and like falls in your foot and you burn your foot a little bit. Like that would make sense to me, but like the whole forearm is like you just dumped it on there. Maybe he was trying to one hand it.
Oh,
And-
maybe he was trying to dump it out towards him.
Why would you? Oh, that's a terrible idea.
I mean, it
Oh
makes
my
sense.
god, that's what he was doing. That was like, what he was. I like thought about that for a second. I'm like, wait, he's pouring. Oh,
The mechanism.
because like he went like this, and like he probably like leaned one way or the other, and it just dumped directly onto this arm right here. Oh my god,
He was definitely trying to. It's because it was his left, I think. I forget, but he definitely
it was
went,
his left, yeah. Oh,
He was trying to throw it
yeah,
behind
I had
him,
to think about that for a second. Yeah, he started over his shoulder.
We need Jacob to hop on the pod before
Oh
we
my
end.
god! No, we're just
to
slandering him. No, we're just slandering him now. He would fight for his life in the next podcast. Okay?
He probably won't even watch this, so he'll have no idea. And then
exactly. We'll just
Everyone
move on from there.
So for listeners who are listeners or viewers, like you'll know that we're making fun of Jacob, but he won't know he's being made fun of
Exactly.
himself.
Let him know. Let him
Yeah.
know in the comments.
All right, I think
Jesus.
again we're gonna go back to our segment. What have we been watching this week?
Breaking Bad.
Oh my god.
Still continuing the Breaking Bad?
I
Okay,
finished.
time out.
Not the whole show.
No, Raj did finish the whole show. 'Cause
What?
He told
Asterisk.
me
Asterisk.
he's been watching it at 1.5 speed.
He always does this.
And
I get it. I don't get
it gets worse. No. It gets worse.
How's it
He
gonna work?
says, and I quote, I skip over the boring parts. And I go, which ones are those? He's like, oh, just the parts like with his family. I'm like,
"Oh my god!"
that's like where half of the development of his character is.
I got enough of his character in 3 seasons. It's fine.
You are the worst. Like, you are the absolute worst.
I got
You're-
the plot. That's all I care about.
Your ability to like judge TV shows now is like very hindered in my eyes. Like if you
Yeah,
have
probably.
any opinions about TV shows, I'm just gonna be like they're wrong.
Okay.
You don't know. That's
Cobra
why
Kai's a good show.
Cobra Kai is a great show.
I thought my opinions were wrong, Justin.
What?
I thought my opinions were wrong.
Most of them, but you don't. I agree on different things for Cobra Kai. I think Hawk deserved to win the tournament, and you and Jacob are all like, "Oh, Hawk didn't deserve to
Oh,
win."
wait,
the
no.
tournament."
I said I wanted Hawk to win. I never said anything about that.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're misquoted, or maybe you're just lying now. But
No, I'm not. I'm not a Miguel stan who's gonna sit there going, "Yeah, Miguel deserves to win it all because Miguel has super plot armor. He survived breaking his back. Now he's gonna go fight the cartel." No,
that will be cool.
It made sense for Eli to win. It was his redemption arc.
Raj, once we're done this biochem class, we gotta watch season 2 of Cobra Kai in that one day.
Jesus Christ.
That first weekend after that our biochem final is next Thursday, so the 23rd. That night even we could just do it.
I'm in Jersey.
What's
Are
stopping you from watching it?
Oh,
I'm
you're
not-
in Jersey for the.
I'm not watching on Netflix Party.
Oh, we're not doing. No. We'll just wait for you to come back.
Yep.
But Andres,
Why
you're gonna have to get like coffee or something because you're gonna need a better performance than what you put up last time.
Yeah.
We need the energy.
Dude is a college student slumped at 2 a.m.
Full day of
Raj.
work before. I had a full day of work before, no nap.
I'm an adult. I do adult
There was no post work nap. Had I taken that nap, it would have been a different story. That's an essential. That is an essential.
Also, Raj,
I work a 9 to
shut up.
5.
You go to sleep at 5 a.m. That's not healthy. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Oh my god! Yeah, like by the time we go to the gym, you're up for only like 3 hours, and it's like 5
Minimum.
o'clock.
Yeah.
No, maximum. Like that's the most he's been awake for.
Oh,
It's like
It's a
no, I'm not. Yeah. Nice.
max 3 hours.
I've
love
been,
when-
I've been awake at 9 only for taking Andres to his doctor's appointment and my biochem exams.
Well, so you volunteered to take me to the bus station at 5 a.m.
That's not an issue. I will be awake.
Because he's
He'll be
still awake.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
he wouldn't-
It's just,
he
he
wouldn't
does
have
it
to
before he
wake
goes
up
to
for it.
sleep.
He'll
He's
already
not
have been
waking
awake.
up. It's
Exactly.
before he goes to bed. It's
He'll have been
fine.
awake. Yeah.
That's the issue.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You think those
yeah.
Jersey trips back at 4 a.m. I went to bed before them?
Wait, you didn't?
No,
Half
he
the
would just
time I
rip
did
like
it.
a thing of pre-workout and then leave. You
Because
told me
Yeah.
you were going to do
because
that.
I know
I
I'd
did do
fall
that.
asleep. I know I'd fall asleep before you, but
Yeah, no, I don't know.
oh my.
How?
Well, you know,
I'm gonna be going to
I trust you, which I know you trust the the Mountain Dew Kickstart. So ultimately, my life is in a Mountain Dew Kickstart's hands.
Oh,
No, it's a
God.
Bang Energy, not
Oh,
Kickstarter.
bang!
Oh, gotta get the
My bad.
creatine in.
Yeah, Bang Energy and the Flamin' Hot Pringles. Justin, I recommend you don't touch them. My
I
favorite
don't
Don't
didn't have any
get
plans
within a
on
mile vicinity of them.
Yeah,
it. Or I will cry.
You'll
probably.
burn
Or
to death.
burn.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There.
Jeez.
I guess what I'm watching now is now I'm waiting for Stranger Things finale. The current show grind is Daredevil, and I'm watching a lot of soccer. I have a game to watch at 10 p.m., which is in 8 minutes currently. So, yeah, that's soccer is just always the thing I'm watching, always.
Always.
And the World Cup soon. Just finished watching the playoff matches for the teams that still have to qualify to the World Cup yesterday and today. So, congrats to Australia and Costa Rica. All the teams are set in stone. World Cup should have started a week ago, but it's in winter
in
now,
Qatar,
so
yep.
in November. Long ways to go, but yeah, just watching what I can now with soccer.
Word.
Very, very nice. Peter, what are you watching?
Yeah, I also just finished up Stranger Things season 4. It's been very, very good. There's absolutely no way they planned this entire story out. Like, there's absolutely no chance. But I do like the direction they are taking it. Like, it is actually really cool. They're diving a lot more into like it being horror. I feel like they kind of like strayed away from that a little bit because it did touch on kind of like more of like an action 80s thing and like some other seasons, which I liked. But I do like that they're kind of coming back to like the horror aspect and really kind of making it like that. And then I guess the next 2 episodes are like an hour and a half and then 2.5 or 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. So basically, it's like sitting down for 2 movies essentially for the last 2 episodes. So I'm really excited about that. And I actually don't have like a show that I've started up yet because I just finished Stranger Things and now kind of get back into it. Now I don't know what to really start, and I'm not watching Cobra Kai. I just
Cobra
can't.
Kai.
I just can't because of the amount of stupid stuff Jacob says about that show. It has made me hate it for no reason.
No,
Like-
Jacob is the worst person to get show recommendations from because he either loves it irrationally for no reason,
Yeah.
or he hates it for no reason.
Yeah.
So then you don't really know where the truth lies.
It's because, and then he has this whole running bit where he's like, oh, like whatever thing was made with this in mind. So he says like, yeah, the Karate Kid was made with Cobra Kai in mind, and it just makes me violently angry for no reason. Because like
It's called the Cobra Kai, not the crane kick.
Yeah, he calls it the Cobra Kai, not the crane kick from Karate Kid that it was made. Like it's just
in the 1970s, maybe.
like it was very like probably late
1984.
70s. I was about to say late 70s, early 80s, but it makes me so infuriated, and there's no reason for me to get this upset because like I like the Karate Kid movie, but I really don't care that much. But just when he says it's like, all right, I hate the show. Like no matter how good the show is, now I hate it. I can't watch it.
Canceled.
So
Just like that.
there we
I
go.
have been on a full-on Glee binge, and it's really bad. See, this is the problem. I think I talked about on one episode how we watch our TV shows. I just get addicted, and now I've like, I'll be like, I don't have time to like, I need to be studying for biochem, but like, I'll get like halfway through an episode, and I'll be like, I just need to finish out the episode.
Yep.
But I'll do that 3 times throughout the day, and then it like totals up to an hour less of studying. And it's not like there's nothing I can do about it because like it's not like I'm actively making a decision to like sit in my bed and watch the show, but it's like I'll start an episode while I'm eating lunch at work, and then it's like then I'll go and do my work, and then I'll be like, all right, when I get home, let me finish that episode up real quick, and it's just like it stacks on top of each other. But I had watched Glee sophomore year of high school with my ex-girlfriend, and then like I hadn't really watched it since, and I saw it was on Disney Plus, and I was like, I really did enjoy watching Glee. So then I just like found a random episode that I was like, I think I know what's going on, and then I was a little bit confused at first, but I think some things started to come back. But then I kind of just accepted what happens. But very enjoyable show. It's like a good feel-good show. So like I don't really have to pay attention too closely. When watching, because obviously we're all watching Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm like watching it very intently to try to figure out like what's going on, what's the bigger picture, like the themes and ideas. There's not really that many themes and ideas going on in Glee, and if there are, they say them explicitly. They'll be like, this week's lesson is about respect, and you're like, I get it.
They just hammer it over your head. Just
yeah,
like,
exactly. They sing a bunch of songs about it, like it's cool and all, and there's a bunch of like high school drama and stuff. But no, very much enjoying my Glee binge, and then obviously watching the NBA Finals, which I guess is what we'll conclude this episode of the pod talking about. I want everyone's reactions in like a short little like synopsis of what your takeaway are from the series, but also just Game 5 as we head into Game 6, which this will probably be. Game 6 probably would have already happened by the time this is released, but so everyone can just judge what we say pretty much.
All right, it looks like Raj is gearing up.
Hit him with the Eurostep Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, hit him with the Steph Curry, the Loston fans crying over losing.
The Loston.
Yeah. So
Loston,
for anyone listening, Justin is actually not a Philly fan
Nope.
at all. He's actually a Boston fan.
He betrayed us.
Yeah, he did. And you know
yes,
what?
we are including us in New York City because we hate Boston.
Hence my Eagles blanket.
Fake.
And
Absolutely
Cover
fake.
That's a
Fake.
cover
Just like
up.
his tier list. Check out our NBA team's tier list. He has Boston in bottom tier when in actuality that is his top tier. It's all fake. Everything is a lie from Justin. You can't trust him anymore.
Boston.
You can't trust any of my tier list at this point. Like everything is just wrong.
Exactly.
Like ice cream. I really like pistachio ice cream.
You lost all credibility.
Yeah.
All credibility.
We don't
Out the
trust
window.
any of your tier lists anymore. I will take note of that in my next few tier list videos.
Tier list rankings should be like everything Justin says is void.
Everything here is it's no
irrelevant. Moving on.
It's Justin. Move on.
Anyway, just skip right over every time.
But in reality, to actual Game 6, if the Celtics lost that bad, it wasn't a bad loss, but actually no, it was a
They
bad
folded.
loss. They folded badly, and they lost to Curry, who put up what, like
I think it was like 14 in 0 threes, and he was
threes.
like 6 for 17 or something like that.
Okay, I think it was 6 of 20, 6 of 23 or 7 of 21, 0 of 9 from 3, and he had like 14 points.
You lost to Curry,
Awful.
who was playing awful, and you lost by what? It was a double-digit loss.
It was
right?
like 20 something.
Yeah, they lost by double digits to a Warriors team where they're all-star and maybe future.
Lost by 10.
Yeah.
Oh, lost because they got a lot of points in garbage time when they were trying to burn the clock.
The game was over by the end of the fourth quarter.
And Steph he's the favorite for the the MVP of the finals,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Not if Andrew
So-
Wiggins has something to
It
say
should
about
be
that.
Yeah.
Wiggins, though. It should be Wiggins.
We'll get to Andrew Wiggins later in that amazing performance, but I don't see a world in where the Celtics can also Game 6 Clay,
If Game 6 Clay shows up, that's rap.
Game 6
that's
Clay,
serious.
and Steph coming off of a bad game,
Oh god,
and Wiggins
they're
was,
not gonna miss. They're
Yeah.
not gonna miss a shot.
and then you have Wiggins who just he proved his worth last night. He was going off that one dunk. He
Dropped a
murdered.
hammer, dude.
Who was that? Derek White, I think. He murdered
Someone
him.
jumped with him, and oh god, yeah, they should not have jumped because they got turned into a screensaver. That was tough. That was really
That was-
tough.
Yeah, but
Actually.
I don't see a world in where the Celtics they could pull it out. I don't want to count them out, but at the same time, this Warriors team is like
They're
if you lost to the Warriors with Steph playing that badly, what shot do you have when Steph and Clay are in sync with Andrew
Yeah.
Wiggins popping off and Jordan Poole too?
Yeah, get that bank shot.
Draymond, I mean, besides Draymond, being
Draymond
angry-
is putting up Hall of Fame numbers: 2 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, fouled out.
I want to
Yeah.
talk about Draymond Green real quick because I mentioned it on my own personal Instagram. He's playing significantly worse than Ben Simmons played last year, and people ran Ben Simmons out of the gym for the slander. And I understand it's a little bit different because Draymond Green's been an established guy in the NBA, and Ben Simmons has a ton of potential. But people are talking about how he's been bad, but like how he's going to go on his podcast and whatnot afterwards. Like, can we actually he's terrible. He's not even playing that good of defense. Like Jaylen Brown, is playing well against him, and I know everyone's like, oh, the things he does doesn't show up on the stat sheet, which is absolutely true during the regular season. But what does show up on the stat sheet is that he's averaging 2 points. It's ridiculous. He's a non-factor on the offensive end of the floor, and he knows it too. I think, let's see, I just looked it up. He is averaging 7 points. Oh, no, sorry. My bad. They put rebounds first because what he averages the most of. 7 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 5 points. He's shooting 28.1% from the field, 0% from 3, and 58% from the free throw line.
That's terrible. That's
He's-
so bad.
He's averaging 4.8 personal fouls a game. He's fouled out in 3 games.
4.8 personal fouls a game.
Yes.
So he's basically averaging a foul out every game.
No, because 6 is a foul out.
Oh, right, 6.
Five in college, yeah. But this is he had 6 in game 1, 3 in game 2, 6, 3, 6. So it's every other game he's fouling out.
Oh, so he's going to foul out this game.
Yeah. No, he just fouled.
Oh, he fouled out last time, so he's
Yeah.
he's going to play this game.
So it's I understand that people are it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, and I'm and whatnot, but I'm there is also a point where Draymond Green scored 30 points in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, and people forget about that. And it's he just gets a pass all the time, and I'm stop giving him a pass. I understand that's not his thing, but let's see the last time. Yeah, he has Game 7 of the NBA Finals. He scored 20. He had 28, 7, and 5 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. He was a plus 20 on the court. Oh wait, that went in Game 7.
Well,
That was game 6 at least. But
Yeah.
he had and then he also dropped a 30 bomb in against
So-
Cleveland at one point. So
Basically.
he has dropped 28 points in the playoffs,
Yes.
32 points, 16, 16, 16 in the playoffs versus Cleveland. They've played
while also
Cleveland
getting rebounds, while also getting assists, being he is a very, very, very good role player essentially, where it's he has his job where it's he'll put up points when he needs to, but then gets the rebounds, gets the assists, is a decent defender, is a big body in the middle, has all these other things, but it's you need to be able to put up a layup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's proven in the past that he's been a good enough player to have big games, and he's not doing it. So I'm I just don't understand the past. Because again, I agree that everything he does not show up on the stat sheet, and that he's a very good middle of the paint defender. He's a great communicator and gets the offense going. Understand all of that, but there's also a point where it's you actually need to score the basketball, and you need to stop being bad. There is a world, I don't think it's likely, there is a world in which Andrew Wiggins wins Finals MVP if if 2 more games happens and
he
Andrew
falls out
Wiggins
of
scores
both of them.
over 20 in each game, and Steph kind of plays bad the next 2 games, because Steph might not play well these next 2 games, because Boston defended him differently in Game 5 than they defended in the first 4. In the first 4, they were running drop coverage with the big guy, and they started bringing the big guy up on the screens to trap him at the top. That's why he wasn't shooting well. So if they continue to do that and Steph Curry doesn't play well, even if they win the game, even if they win Game 7, if he's at 30 points right now, if Steph Curry comes down to averaging 25 points for the finals and Andrew Wiggins goes up to 21, and then you go, okay, who played the best defense on the team? And like, what fits the narrative better? Like, how cool would it be if Andrew Wiggins,
Just
who was
pops
deemed
off.
the first overall pick in the draft, and I think it's 2015 draft, then everyone deems him as a bum, one of the worst contracts in the NBA, wins the Finals MVP
For the
like
Warriors.
7 years later.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely nuts. So yeah, Celtics absolutely folded. It'll be interesting to see Game 6. I could either see the Warriors just like destroying the Celtics and being like, yep, they just like the Celtics just completely came unraveled. I could see the Celtics blowing the Warriors out, or I could see it going down to like a game-winning shot by like Jason Tatum, and it's like, we have Game 7. I could see so many scenarios. I don't even know. I would probably take the Celtics to win, but I really don't even. I have no idea who's going to win Game 6, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what's about to happen with this game, because like we've kind of seen like one team get blown out, then the other team get blown out, a team give up a lead, another team give up a lead. So it's like anything is on the table at this point. We've either got Game 7 coming up or not, but all I know is that Game 6 should be electric, because it's going to be in Boston. So the Celtics, and they're coming off of a bad loss, they should be fired up. But then again, Curry and Clay both had terrible games. The media's dog walking them right now for that. So they're going to be pissed off. So both teams should be pissed off.
I think the interesting narrative at play is actually Game 6 Clay versus elimination game Grant Williams.
Which one cancels it out?
Yes, because last time Grant Williams in an elimination game, he got 28 points and shot like 8 threes against the Bucks.
Yeah.
And we all know about Game 6 Clay. So I'm like,
so who
is going to prevail?
Which meme is going to show up to the basketball court tonight?
Did you see the guy who impersonates Clay got a full lifetime ban at Oracle Arena? Dude, that was so funny.
So bad for that guy.
How do you feel bad for him? He snuck into an NBA arena.
Dude, he just walked up and the security was like, just let him in.
Well, I agree, but he knew the repercussions of what doing that was. I don't feel bad for him.
Well,
I mean,
the bit. It was for the bit.
It was for the bit.
It was you probably deserve to get banned. Maybe not for a lifetime, but like, I think if he appeals it and is like, yo, listen, like I was doing this for fun. I figured security would have stopped me way before I started shooting on the court.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks like Clay, okay? But
he doesn't look that much like Clay.
For people who aren't aware of this, there's a guy who lives in like the Bay Area where the Warriors play, and he looks like Klay Thompson in his face. But like his body doesn't really look like Klay Thompson. He's like a lot pudgier than Klay Thompson is and whatnot, which is not to be an insult, but like
Klay Thompson's an NBA player.
Yeah, Klay Thompson is an NBA star. And this guy pretty much pretended to be him and snuck into the NBA. Not even snuck. He walked through the security.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh yeah, let him in." That's Klay Thompson.
Started putting shots up before the game, and then he eventually got escorted off, and like he got banned for life and stuff. But like, I can't like security. Like, there's no way they're not getting an email from the league. Like, what the hell?
Like, what are you doing? Like, there's no reason for that to happen. Like, do none of you know what Klay Thompson looks like? Like, how often are you doing security here?
He's one of the most iconic people in Golden State Warrior history.
Yeah, and they're just like
he might be like two or three on that list. Like,
it's like Wilt Chamberlain, like Curry.
He might be more popular than Wilt just because of the time. Like
time frame wise, yeah.
Yeah, you could argue it's Steph and Clay 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and you're getting him confused for some guy who just came off the street. But mind you, he's always wearing Clay's like old, like 20, like the old style jersey when they were sponsored by like Adidas.
It's not even like the modern.
No.
And also, they don't wear uniforms going into the game.
No.
Like, they wear normal clothes. So it's like, oh, look at me. I'm wearing Klay Thompson's jersey.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's like no one, the jerseys are in the stadium already. They don't touch them before they don't bring them in their bag. This isn't high school. Like, oh, God. Shout out that security though. They had an absolute ball, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Some dude was probably just like, "Yo, who's that?" And like some security guard's like, "Isn't that Klay Thompson?" They're like, "No."
Hell yeah.
They're
No.
like,
They probably
yeah,
first they're probably like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
the guy was all the way in.
he's
And
good.
some fan is like, "That's not Klay Thompson." The guy's like, That's not Klay." Oh god.
Oh, man.
God. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no, that's not
Let's
Klay.
get him. I wonder how they approached him on the court. Were they like going up
They were
and
like, "Hey,
you
man,
need to go,"
like,
or they were
yeah.
like, "Get over here."
Yeah, I'm sure they probably just were like trying to keep it cool. The guy's like, "Oh yeah, like I guess we'll like leave now." And then they're like, "How did you get on the court?" It's like, "Oh, I just walked on.
Yeah.
No one stopped me."
All right, real quick before we leave, predictions for Game 6, and then if you think the series doesn't end in Game 6, who wins Game 7?
Warriors win Game 6. Andrew Wiggins hits a game winner.
Game 6, Warriors in 7. Wiggins will have masterclass games.
I am gonna say, Warriors in 7.
Warriors 7. I will be honest. I could see this going so many different ways, but I'll stick with my initial prediction of Boston in 7. They haven't lost. They haven't lost back-to-back
Imagine
games.
being a Boston fan. Could it be me?
They haven't lost 2 straight games since before the All-Star break. They just had to happen. I would find it hard to believe that they would lose 3 straight games. And then Game 7, I'm just picking Boston out of obligation to my prediction. But what I would say is the Celtics have played in more Game 7s right currently than Golden State. So I'll just be like, yeah, they know what it takes to win Game 7.
Meanwhile,
this year.
Clay and Curry have just been living in the playoffs for the past
I know.
like, 8 years.
The logic doesn't line. It's very you can poke a lot of holes in the logic, but I'm gonna stick with the better team. I do think Boston is the better team, like talent wise. They just are stupid sometimes.
I think I might hate Boston more than Ohio. I think that might be a thing.
Boston the city or Boston sports teams?
Boston sports. I don't have
Okay.
an issue with the people. Just I hate Boston sports. I guess maybe Boston sports fans. I feel like it's like as like the person, they're fine, but then the second they're like become that fan, I don't like them anymore.
Yeah, I often become that fan as a Boston fan.
I hate you. I hate you.
And on that note, we are going to conclude this episode of the podcast. Thank you guys, everyone, for listening. Please drop a review, drop a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on there. Go to our Instagram, like up our post, share. It helps out the channel a lot. Use code WATCH20 at VuckUp.com, and we will catch you next time on the pod.
Wiggins is the next Jordan.
Peace out.